Hi, good morning, Madeline.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Good. Thanks for joining today.
Yes.
We have about 8 participants scheduled to join the call, so I'm just gonna kind of wait for everybody to get logged in
That's
on
all.
a minute. But,
I was cleaning the backyard and I saw that it was 10 o'clock already.
perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining.
My pleasure.
Just had somebody text me. They needed the login info. They have it. So let's. Oh, here we go. We got Catherine. Welcome, Catherine, on Nathan's Zoom. Still waiting for a few more. I'm going to give them till about 5 after to get on board, and then we're going to start this party. Let me see who I am still missing. I know Laura is trying to get logged in. Let's see here. Yeah, Angie's going to join after. Burgess. I'm in the cage because the address is invalid. Okay, interesting. Let's see if I can help her. Invite. invite link. Oh, geez, having such a hard time. One minute, we're gonna get started. Seeing if I can help some people out here. I think I'll be better at this point of a pandemic. Let's try that. See if that helps her. Send. So many people signed up for this. I'm going to give her 30 seconds, then we're going to get started. We'll just add people into this when they get going. Maybe I should drop this link. Joe Vince. Just kind of one more time, send out another link. Probably why people are having a hard time. Paste. And I'm going to send that out. All right. Cool. Well, we're going to get started. And then hopefully these people that were having difficulties will join us. So, okay. Well, welcome everybody to our virtual nutrition chat, our monthly virtual nutrition chat. I really enjoy these and I'm glad to see you guys and so much interest for these. They are definitely growing in traction, which is super fun. It is important. We really enjoy doing these because nutrition is the foundation of any fitness goal, whether it's weight loss, weight gain, athletic performance, overall general health. And it's an often overlooked aspect of people's whole fitness regimen. So I love hosting these. Hopefully you guys received also the workbook in the email that I sent out earlier this morning. And you either downloaded that and printed it out in advance, or you have it up on your screen so you can follow along with us. But other than that, oh, there we go. We got Monica. There's Monica. All right, Monica, we got her. As you guys may or may not know, obviously I haven't been in the gym since early Wednesday morning. I got the flu, not COVID. I've tested actually 3 at homes and went and got a PCR as well. Actually, compared to my friends who recently got COVID, I actually feel like I got the short end of the stick. I feel like I was way sicker. I had a fever literally Wednesday night, Thursday, and Friday. I think I woke up this morning and finally my fever is broke, but as you can hear, I sound horrible. I've been sucking on a Ricola prior to this, so hopefully it'll help me get through this, but bear with me if I've got to stop and cough a few times. I am sorry, but I'm going to do my very best to get through this with you guys. And please, by all means, if you have questions during the presentation, jot them down. I'm going to have a Q&A at the end of this like I always do, all right? So let's get into it. Hi, I'm Robert from AllFit, and thank you guys so much for joining this nutrition talk. It's all about undereating. More specifically, we are going to dive into the 3 signs you may be undereating and explain why eating less is not always the best option for reaching your health and wellness goals. There we go. Our nutrition program is powered by Healthy Steps Nutrition. At Healthy Steps Nutrition, we believe something as fundamental as nutrition should not be complicated. This is why we focused on simple, habit-based approach to help you reach your goals one step at a time. Healthy Steps Nutrition has helped over 35,000 people all around the world take control of their health. Here are just some of the incredible success stories. Looking to create your own success story? We know that while this is simple, it is far from easy. First, we need to figure out what is holding you back from reaching your goals. For many, it is chronically undereating. And I just want to kind of put my own in that. All the nutrition clients that I've been coaching, especially the last 6 months, I would say 90% of the people that I meet with are significantly undereating at first. And so this is something that we always focus on is, are we eating enough foods, right? So anyway, moving on. Nicole had a client walk into her office and tell her about her weight loss journey that has resulted in lackluster results. During this conversation, she learned, excuse me, I'm sorry, that she had been battling her weight starting in her late teens and early 20s. She had tried any and all diets, including fad diets, restricted diets, counting calories, shakes, and anything else you can think of. Over the years, there's Laura. Over the years, her weight has shown some yo-yoing, but ultimately insignificant weight loss. She finally took a big breath after explaining all those diets when she asked, I feel terrible, but I'm eating less and doing all the things I've been told to do to lose weight, but I'm still not losing weight. What am I missing? What am I doing wrong? Come on. Come on. There we go. Sorry. This frustration in a weight loss journey is not unique. This happens all the time. Diet culture tells us to eat less and lose weight, oftentimes promoting diet plans for less than 1,000 calories per day. Drives me crazy. So today I want to walk you through signs you may not be eating enough and the reason why eating less is not always the best path for reaching your goals. So let's dive in. I would like to start by first explaining a few basics when it comes to our metabolism or energy balance to help understand why so many people struggle to lose weight and keep it off when eating less. Have you heard the saying, calories in, calories out? This is a general rule that if we take in more energy in the form of calories than we expend, we will gain weight. The opposite is also true, and that if we take in less energy than we expend, we will lose weight. So you may be wondering, if this rule is true, then why is eating less not always the answer? Well, it turns out that many factors will influence that simplified equation. I want to begin by explaining some of the factors that may alter intake. First is your appetite. As obvious as it may seem, your appetite is affected by hormones. You have 2 main hormones we will be discussing today, which are called leptin and ghrelin. Leptin is a hormone produced by our fat tissue that signal to our brains that we are feeling full. Ghrelin is released in the stomach, which is called our hunger hormone, to tell us when we are hungry. This is important because when we drastically decrease our caloric intake, it affects our body's hormones. Ghrelin will shoot up, which makes us feel hungry all the time. Think about the last time you were feeling really hungry. All right, now how hard was it to stick to healthy eating and stay away from fast food or treats? While hormones play a big role in influencing intake, there are many other factors, including your environment. For example, studies show people consume more when eating with friends and family than when they eat by themselves. In addition, palatability, the reward of the foods we are eating, as well as our mindset, can influence intake. Next, let's take the time to briefly explain a few factors that may influence the energy output. First, you have your BMR or basal metabolic rate. Hopefully, you guys have heard me talk about this in the past. All right. This is the estimated amount of calories your body needs when at rest to continue the basic needs of living. Basically, your basic bodily functions and the energy that your body expels to sustain its life. Well, we also need to take into consideration the physical activity level, which includes our day to day movement, such as going grocery shopping, chasing the kids, vacuuming the house, as well as more organized physical activities, such as running or coming to the gym and doing workouts. Lastly, we take into account the thermic effect of food. Hopefully, you've heard this term before. But the thermic effect of food is about how much energy your body needs to break down or metabolize the foods that you consume. All right, I've explained why the calories in, calories out statement isn't as simple as it sounds. So now let's discuss 3 signs that you are under eating. Then we will talk about why it may not be the answer for you. All right. So first, sign number 1, you are constantly hungry. You start eating less, and now all you can think about is the next time you get to eat. Haven't we all been there? This circles us back to those hormones we briefly discussed. When you eat less, your body signals for an increased release of ghrelin, making you feel super hungry. When we feel more hungry, it leads to increased portions, more frequent sneaky handfuls of pantry snacks, and over consuming sweets when we finally succumb to those cravings. I'm not going to say I've done this before. I have. When you undereat and you get yourself so hungry, you're just like, I just need to eat now. And you pull into the first drive-thru that you see and you just slather yourself in burgers and fries. And you're like, I just needed that, right? That's a key sign of undereating. And that's why, we talk about that undereating and why it's so hard to maintain that, right? When you're constantly hungry, it's nearly impossible for you to stick to proper portions, proper planning on food, because your body is literally working against you. All right. Think about it. This will all lead to a surplus of calories, which will prevent your body from losing weight. We should be eating an amount where we aren't feeling hungry. While a decrease in calories may sound like the result is always feeling hungry, choosing more whole food options that provide more volume into your meals and balancing your meals and snacks is a great way to combat that. One of the easiest ways to start balancing your meals is by reshaping your plate using the plate method. You see this in the gym all the time. If you're working with us one-on-one, you know that this is the basis of what we talk about every day. You should fill half your plate with non-starchy vegetables, 1/4 of the plate with lean protein, and 1/4 of the plate with starchy carbs with a healthy amount of fat. Okay. You should do this, and you can do this all the time, no matter where you are, whether you're prepping your food in advance, whether you're cooking your food at home, whether you're out to eat for dinner. You can apply the plate method everywhere and anywhere in any situation, regardless of where you are. Here are a few pro tips. Oops, sorry. I did not mean to do that. Here are a few pro tips. Eat your veggies and protein first, leaving your starchy carbs for last. If you were on my sugar talk last month, you understand that the method to this madness also helps reduce the sugar spikes, all right, that you're going to get from eating food. So eat the veggies first, then eat the protein, then leave the starchy carbs for last. Number 2, remove distractions such as TV or phones from meal and snack time. I actually have a client that I'm working with now and have been working with for about 3 or 4 months. And his biggest issue is that he works all the time, right here, like me, at a desk from a computer, and he doesn't detach himself. So he goes, grabs his food, and he sits at his desk and he just eats while he works. There's no mindfulness into the eating. And so it's super easy to overeat or get distracted. So unplugging yourself for 10, 15 minutes, sitting down and being mindful about the food that you're eating, super, super important, right? Set a timer and take 20 minutes to enjoy that meal, right? Give yourself that time. Look, I can remove myself from work for 15 to 20 minutes to sit down, eat some food, engage with my family, and enjoy myself, right? Last one, put your fork down in between each bite, all right? And that'll prevent you from doing one of these, hovering over and just scooping it in. That was something that I had to teach myself, especially coming from a military background. We were taught to eat and eat fast. So this was, something that I had to work on in my own weight loss journey, is learning to take a bite, put the fork down, talk to somebody, have a sip of drink, and not just sit there and scarf my food all day. All right, moving on. Sign number 2, you are moody. I'm not pointing to anybody. You know what comes with being hungry all the time? Hangry. It is a word expressed in my household on a regular basis. Hangry. We want to avoid being hangry. Did you know that in January 2018, the word hangry was officially added to the Oxford English Dictionary? It is defined as bad-tempered or irritable as a result of hunger. So you started to eat significantly less. Your body is protesting by increasing the production of ghrelin, and now you may or may not be starting unnecessary fights with friends and family. This mood shift is a classic sign that you aren't eating the right amount to reach your goals. So what is happening that causes us to feel hangry? When we start to eat less, our blood sugar starts to drop. Again, if you were on my talk last month about sugar, you already know this. When our blood sugar starts to drop, it triggers a cascade of hormones, including increased cortisol and increased adrenaline. This happens as a way for your body to fix the low levels of necessary blood sugar, leaving us feeling more agitated. To stop this drop in blood sugar, consider eating smaller, more frequent meals or including balanced snacks between meal times. This will help to stabilize your blood sugars and keep you from feeling hangry. Welcome, by the way, Alfredo. You just missed me talking about you because we were talking about taking time to eat your food and detaching from your work. And I was telling them a story about you and how that's worked for you. Anyway, welcome all you late joiners. It's great to have you guys. We're just talking about hangry. Hopefully none of you are hangry right now listening to me talking, all right? Don't be hangry with me, okay? Next slide. Sign number 3, sleep and stress issues, okay? Let's start with sleep. You have likely heard a lot about how sleep deprivation has been found to lead to insulin resistance and weight gain. Again, this is also a topic we discussed last month on our sugar talk, right? But did you know that undereating while following strict dietary patterns can also interrupt the quality of sleep? One small study followed 10 young women dieting for 4 weeks. They found these study participants had difficulty falling asleep and less overall deep sleep. Another study found that the starvation level calorie restriction led to a reduction in slow wave sleep, or that deep sleep just mentioned. This can definitely alter our stress. A large study of more than 2,500 Australian teens found that extreme dieting was not only associated with decreased quality sleep, but also high levels of depression and anxiety, which will alter another important hormone in our health and wellness journey. Now let's talk about cortisol, all right? And I'm sure you've heard this too. Cortisol is often called the stress hormone because it is released in response to stress. Most of us have heard a lot about cortisol when it comes to inhibiting weight loss goals. If you are constantly limiting your intake, which leads to increased stress and lack of sleep, your body's cortisol is very likely to be elevated. Elevated cortisol levels will not only alter our metabolism, but will also cause water retention, which may mask any fat loss occur. All right. How many of you have seen those commercials for these weight loss pills where they block cortisol, right? This is what they're focusing on. Don't buy into that, by the way. Just do the right things that we're talking about here. If you have or are experiencing mood shifts, constant feelings of being hungry, or sleep and stress issues, you may be eating too little. Think about that for 1 second. Just everybody right now, I want you to think about your life. Do you right now have feelings of being hungry or ravenous throughout the day? Are you not getting enough sleep? Are you stressed out? These are signs that you might not be eating enough. All right. Now let's talk about why it is not always the answer. So what happens when we undereat and your body doesn't get the energy it needs? Well, initially the body will use fat stores for energy, and that is how people begin to lose weight. But over time, the body will adjust to this chronic caloric deficit and metabolism will slow. So the body isn't burning energy as efficiently. And then weight loss eventually stops because the metabolism is slowed down. It becomes extremely hard to maintain your weight eating anything more than a set number of calories your body has adjusted to. Additionally, it also becomes very, very difficult to lose weight despite hard efforts of eating clean and exercising regularly. Guys, I can't tell you enough how difficult it is for you to lose weight when you are under eating. 90% of the fad diets out there, whether it's keto, whether it's intermittent fasting, whether it's this diet, that diet, they all focus on you being in some sort of caloric deficit. And that's why people initially lose weight on these diets. And they're in what we call the honeymoon phase. We want you to lose a few pounds right away and think, oh my God, it's amazing. Look at this great diet. But what's really happening is you're in a calorie deficit. Your body burns fat, and presto, you're losing some weight. In that honeymoon phase, they hope that you tell all your friends about it, post about it, and get them involved in this diet too. But what will eventually happen is go 2, 3, 4 months out on these fad diets, and eventually the weight loss slows. You continue to remain in this caloric deficit, and you're working out harder and harder than ever to try to get back to that honeymoon phase. But what ends up happening is that eventually you fall off the wagon, you eat a cheeseburger, and poof, you put 10 pounds back on. It's because you've slowed your metabolism, right? You've had an adverse effect on what we're actually trying to do, right? Building muscle, feeding that muscle, increasing the basal metabolic rate so that you burn more calories and fat naturally throughout the course of the day, and your body becomes efficient at doing so on a regular basis. Guys, that's what this is all about. It's what it's all about. All right. So we're there. We've got this. All right. Moving on. And I want to welcome Michael. Michael, welcome to the chat. You didn't miss much, and I'm going to summarize all of this at the end. Okay. I promise. All right. After hearing what I just told you about, you may feel like losing weight is a hopeless cause. Hopefully you don't. But alas, that is far from the truth. I encourage you to try thinking about it this way. Rather than focusing on the result of weight loss, focus on the journey of building healthy habits. Those of you who work with us one-on-one, you already know this, right? It's all about building blocks, creating healthy habits, replicating that, and being consistent with doing so. Rather than focusing on eating fewer calories, you should focus on eating more whole foods and more whole food options that provide fewer calories than processed foods, but are more dense and provide your body better nutrients. Yes, processed foods are more convenient, but those whole foods provide way more vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients, and volume. Rather than getting sucked into fad diets and the seemingly endless cycle of undereating, find a pro who can be the guide to help you build a plan and keep you accountable for reaching your goals. I wonder who that could be. If only you knew one. Want to learn more? Be sure to check out episode 26 of the Nutrition Made Simple podcast, all about nutrition myths. Guys, I say this on all of my virtual nutrition talks. If you don't subscribe to the HSN podcast, do so. If you're a podcast person, they're great. They're short, they're sweet. They provide tons of great information. And they're just fantastic. They post a new one every week. Always contains great information, but this one in particular, episode 26, literally covers everything that we just went over here today. All right. At this point, your handbook, hopefully, should be filled out, and you are at the edge of your seat waiting for more ways you can start eating the right amount for your goals. With all the misinformation out there, we know that this can feel overwhelming. To start building your foundation, here are the HSN principles that have helped so many people, including some of you on this chat, take control of their health one habit at a time. Number one, add more whole foods into your diet, right? We talk about whole foods. What are whole foods? They are close to nature, not processed, not manufactured, not modified. They are straight from the ground or the tree or from the animal, right? Eat more whole foods. Next one, we talked about it earlier, the plate method. Start choosing whole foods and less processed foods packed with sodium, fat, and sugar. A simple way to start this is by reshaping your plate with the plate method. Half a plate of non-starchy vegetables, 1/4 plate of lean protein, one quarter plate of starchy carbs, and mindful healthy fats. Number two, focus on balance. Guys, this is so important. This is a very, very important principle. When we say balance, we mean Does every meal and snack you consume throughout the day contain a carb, a protein, and a fat? Those of you that work with us one-on-one, you know that this is something that we're constantly harping about. Do all of your meals contain all of the macronutrients? That includes snacks, right? Pairing each meal and snack with all three of these macronutrients will keep you fuller and fuller for longer. Number 3, limit the added sugar. Bringing it back to last month, saying, and this is my biggest part, right? The AHA recommends no more than 6 teaspoons for women and 9 teaspoons for men. The average person right now in the United States of America consumes over 150 pounds of sugar per year. That's 46 teaspoons full per day. It is not surprising. Sugar is super addicting and feels hidden in almost every food product you find in a package. Guys, turn your labels over, read your labels, go down to the carbohydrate section and look at sugars and added sugars, okay? Some foods contain natural sugars naturally occurring in the foods, and that's okay in some cases, but we want to look at the added sugars, okay? I personally live off of a lifestyle where I try not to consume any more than 25 grams of added sugars per day. That takes some planning, and it can be difficult at times, especially on weekends when people want to eat out all the time. I am that guy. How much sugar is in that? Can you tell me what's in that food? I am that guy. But I mean, each of us are in our own different places, but the sugar thing is super, super important. All right. Now, before we open it up, I'd like to take the time to answer some FAQs about this topic. All right. Maybe I'll answer some of the questions that you already have. So, what should I eat around my workout? Fueling around your workout to gain muscle, lose fat, increase energy, or really any health and fitness goal is super important. We also work with our one-on-one clients about fueling around our workouts. This is really, really important, guys. Aim to have healthy carbs and protein before and after your workout. If you don't put gas in your car, you wouldn't expect to get anywhere, wouldn't you? Then don't run your body on empty. My favorite pre-workout fuel is like applesauce. I get those like applesauce pouches that you give to kids, no sugar added, of course, and like an egg muffin or hard-boiled egg, or even a protein shake on top of that. Really good pre-workout snack. My favorite post-workout fuel is like some non-fat Greek yogurt with a handful of blueberries mixed in, or I'll do, I told you guys on my sugar talk, I like to do a little smoothie with Ascent protein, no sugar added peanut butter, some blueberries, no sugar added almond milk with that's naturally sweetened with vanilla. That's kind of my favorite go-to post-workout. They're great, they're fantastic, and they're easy. Okay. My favorite FAQ, I don't love veggies. What should I do? Well, I've heard this so many times, and maybe some of you out there are feeling this way, but I want to challenge you. Okay. What if you just haven't found the way that you like them? Right? You could roast your veggies for a nice crunch rather than mushy veggies, adding good seasoning for a flavor you can be excited for. Air frying is great too. Even finding ways to sneak them into your recipes like smoothies is a great way to get more veggies in your day. Where should I start? That's always a great question, right? So much information. You're like, I don't know where to start, right? So I want you to start with one thing at a time. Maybe it is something you've already had in mind, or maybe it is one of the things that we discussed today. But the best and fastest way to reach your goals is to work one-on-one with a nutrition coach to build an individualized custom plan just for you, like me and Caitlin. Are you looking to break the cycle of eating too little and start building healthy habits for reaching your goals? Here's the deal. There's never a perfect time to get started. There's always something that will come in the way. I hear this all the time. Robert, I really want to do this, but I've got all this going on. I've got a vacation coming up. I've got this going on. I've got that going on. You know, life is never going to stop for you guys, right? There's always going to be, when one thing ends, something is going to continue. So working on your nutrition and building good foundations is something that you've been thinking about. The time is now. You have to make a commitment to yourself. It's simple. It's not easy, but I'm here to help you, and so is Caitlin. If you're thinking this all sounds great, but I don't even know where to start, or I really just need some time to help me, or someone to help me create a plan that's realistic for me and someone to keep me accountable, we would really love to help you, okay? I've put in the notebook a QR code and a link to book a nutrition consultation with myself or Caitlin. They are absolutely free. You can sit down with us one-on-one. We can talk about our nutrition program. We can talk about things that have worked for you in the past. We can come up with an idea of where to start, and we can go from there. All right. No questions asked, no pressure. So, just a few things about our nutrition program. All right. We used to focus on habit-based approach to creating an individualized plan just for you. We work together using all of our many tools and resources to build your nutrition foundation to create a sustainable plan. Along with our tools and resources, we know how important support and accountability is when it comes to our long-term nutrition goals, which is why we will be there to help guide you and tweak the plan every step of the way. Alfredo's on this call. There is his wonderful success story. I love sharing his the most recent one. Alfredo just finished our 12-week nutrition program. He's done an amazing job in changing his lifestyle and habits and finding ways to implement good nutrition, not just for him, but for his entire family, even while having a new baby at home and having another baby during the process of his 12 weeks. So congratulations to you, Alfredo. You've done an amazing job. Angie just completed our program. I really love sharing Angie's story because sometimes people go, well, I don't have that much to lose. What will a nutrition program do for me? Well, look at Angie. The pictures tell a thousand stories, right? I mean, she didn't have a lot of weight to lose, but look at what putting on some lean muscle and getting her nutrition dialed in can do for her over 12 weeks. So it's fantastic. And of course, Robin, one of our superstars, he looked at me in my face after I shared this nutrition program with him, and he laughed in my face. And he told me, you want me to lose weight and get stronger, and you're not going to make me count my macros and log all my food like this, and you want me to eat vegetables and do this? And yeah, because we're going to work on finding a way to make it mold into your busy lifestyle, make it easy for you. And he laughed in my face. Now look at him. And you ask Robin, and he'll be the number one person to tell you how this program changed his life and his whole outlook on the way that he looks and approaches eating and nutrition. All right. If you're looking to hear more about how this program can change your life, like I said earlier, tune into the Nutrition Made Simple podcast. All right. Some things that I'd love to tell you guys about, because you're on this, you get to understand some things that are going to go on in our gym shortly. So 2 things that we're going to be doing in the gym to help you guys and to help all of our athletes within the gym. Starting in August, you guys will hear about it starting next week, but in August, the second week of August, we are going to be hosting free goal setting sessions. All right. These goal setting sessions are super important because if you don't have goals and you don't have something that you're focused on and that you're working on, what is it that we're doing here, right? These goal setting sessions are 15 to 20 minutes. They're absolutely free. Our coaches will be hosting them in the gym. We can also host them virtually. But the point is for you to actually meet with a coach and set up and create goals for yourself. And we're going to have those goals on your account. We're going to have those goals for you to see, and we're going to keep those goals for us as coaches to see, so that we make sure that we're holding you accountable to those things all the time. And then hopefully we'll meet again in like 4 to 6 months, and we're going to see that you've made progress on those goals. Okay. The second thing that we have coming up in September is we have a 28-day nutrition challenge. I'm very excited about this. This will be our second and last challenge of the year, and it'll be just in time for the holidays. Now, this will be a great opportunity for some of you guys to get involved in our nutrition program. It is a group challenge, so it's not as one-on-one focus as our individual coaching is. However, you're going to get a lot of the great things that we do with our one-on-one coaches, some great resources. We're going to help create some foundational stuff for you and some building blocks, get some measurements, do some photos. Hopefully we'll get some changes during those 28 days. And hopefully we'll get some results. And if you love it, it's a great way for you to get involved in the program. And then we can talk about continuing with some one-on-one coaching after the challenge. All right. So those are things that are coming up for us. Remember, today we discussed the signs you may be eating too little, as well as why it is not always the answer. If you are ready to understand the best ways for you to reach your goals, now is the time to take control of your health and work with a pro. All right. Don't forget to use the link in the QR code that I sent you guys via the PDF document to go ahead and book a nutrition consultation if you're interested in learning more information. That does conclude my presentation today. I've finished in enough time to open up to questions. So I'm first going to just jump over here to the chat box. Let's see. I can't eat before boot camp. I will try to change this next week. Class for me is too intensive. Yes, I understand that, Monica. And I hear this all the time. People say to me, I just can't eat before a workout. It is very difficult for me. And I get that, right? I often say that to people that, perhaps eating before the workout doesn't work for you because you don't normally do it. And the one time you did it, your body wasn't used to it. And you were like, right? Some people just can't take in too much liquids to try to eat something, like I said, a good carb, a good protein, something lean, not too much, and trying to eat that an hour before. Excuse me, I'm still sick. Trying to eat an hour before is really ideal, right? You could even do 90 minutes before. I know some of you who come to the early classes, that is really, really difficult. I get it. But try to experiment with it. If you can find a way to eat an hour and a half before your workout, it is really optimal. And if you can just stick with it, your body will become efficient at it, and it'll be less, you'll feel less during a workout. Okay. Breezy had to run. Thank you so much. She had questions, so I'll ask them tomorrow. Okay, Catherine. All right, Catherine's got a question. Her question is, if you have been under eating for a long time and your metabolism has slowed down in response, what's the best way to start to adjust to eating more? Great question. So here it is in a nutshell. When people start to eat more, you almost really, really feel like you're like stuffing your face full of food, right? I remember a few years ago, we used to do a nutrition program in the gym, which was a macro-based nutrition program where we asked people to hit a certain number of macros every day. And really, this foundation is the same foundation that we, with HSN principles, right? Eating whole foods, eating the right amount of foods, the right timing, et cetera, et cetera. But what a lot of people were finding is in the first week or two, because they had been under eating, they would come to me and say, Robert, I can't I'm like full. Do you want me to stuff this chicken in my face? The answer is yeah. So think about it like this, right? When your metabolism is slowed from drastically under eating, your body, it's like, I like to tell people, imagine your body is like a coal burning choo-choo train, right? Like an old time steampunk train, right? You had to take the coals and you throw it in the furnace, and the heat generated is what makes the train go faster, right? So imagine that your metabolism, if you've been under eating, is like that low smolder, right? When coals are about to go out, they've kind of burned for a little bit, and now they're just kind of smoky and slow. So, you've got to just throw those coals on the fire and get it ignited. For some people, it'll be fast, right? You'll say, okay, within 2 or 3 days, all right, my body's getting adjusted to this. For others, it may take 2 to 3 weeks. But I promise if you stick with it, if you make a plan, look, this is what I'm going to eat. I know I'm going to work out at this time, especially you, Catherine, right? You work out sometimes twice a day. And I know that you want to build muscle. Really important for you to fuel around both of those workouts. So knowing, in your mind that you've just got to consume this food, it's almost a matter of just suck it down and let it run its process, right? Let the body that furnace will ignite eventually, and you'll get to a point where it'll become good and efficient at burning through that food, and it'll get better, I promise. All right. Monica said, I'm up early. I will try this. I probably undereat. My doctor wants me to stay at 1,200 calories to lose weight. So, Monica, here's what I'm going to tell you. Doctors don't always know best, all right? And I'm coming from a medical background. Remember that my background was in the medical field for many, many years before I went into it. We call medicine a practice because it is a practice, right? It's not an exact science. So it makes sense for doctors to tell people to get on a 1,200 calorie diet because you probably presented to them as a sedentary person who doesn't exercise. And for them, they like to put everybody in this little box of, well, you get 1,200 calories a day and you're going to lose weight. Problem, Monica, is that you are an active person. You're now working out at boot camp or coming twice a week. You're trying to find ways to do more activities, right? But remember, your in-body scan, go to what it said, because I know you did an in-body scan. Go to what it says and look at what it told you for your BMR. By the way, those of you, if you've never done an in-body scan, these things are super, super important, because they do tell you your basal metabolic rate. And sometimes seeing that on a piece of paper will mentally help you push through that barrier and understanding that you do need to eat more foods, right? Because remember, we talked about your basal metabolic rate is simply just how many calories your body burns to just sustain its life functions, right? So I know, Monica, I'm sure yours was over 1,200 calories, because I think I did it. And I think that it was somewhere like 1,285 or something like that. So that's just your body sustaining, right? Now you go to work, you move around, you go to the grocery store, you vacuum the house, you do things like that. You probably burn an extra 300 to 500 calories just living out your day. So now you're at 1,700. And then if you come to class, you burn an extra 400 to 500 calories. Now you're at 2,200 to 2,300 calories expelled. If you're eating 1,200 calories or less, this is what we're talking about. Now you're significantly under eating. You lose fat at first, but eventually your body becomes used to that under eating. The metabolism slows, and now you're working against yourself. So it's important to kind of make sure you're consuming enough calories that suit your lifestyle. I'm not telling you to go ham and go out there and go eat an apple pie. What I am telling you to do is eat more whole foods, eat more regularly, use the plate method, use the hand portion guide, and get yourself balanced meals and snacks that match up to prevent hunger and to prevent you from undereating. Okay, good stuff. So there's still plenty of you guys are welcome to ask questions either in the chat, or if you want to just speak up, I've got everybody. You can unmute yourself and just ask a question, but I'm happy to answer questions. You're welcome, Monica. Happy to help. Anybody got anything else? Come on, guys. Hit me with your best shot. I love this topic. I'm gonna take a sip of my Gatorade here. Anything else? Anybody? Bueller? Okay, where on the scan is the calories I should be eating? So it just tells you your basal metabolic rate, Monica. It doesn't tell you how many calories you should be eating, right? It's just going to tell you your basal metabolic rate, which is how many calories you consume through just living your body's natural energy expenditure. Yeah, 1,274. See? So then add into that 300 to 500 calories of your daily life, and then add into that 300 to 500 calories of boot camp. And so imagine if you're only eating 1,200 calories on a day that you work out with us, you're significantly under eating. So that's what we're saying.
Rob, I'll do an audio question versus the chat. It's Michael here.
Hey, Mike, what's up?
What is you were mentioning some sort of scan. What is the scan again?
Yeah.
How do I get that done?
Absolutely. So, and Michael, everybody welcome Michael, by the way. Him and his wife, Leanna, are some of our newest all fitters. So it's great to have you guys. So what we have inside the gym, I don't know if you saw, we have an InBody 270 scanner. And as part of your free intro session, actually, we should have done that for you. And so if we didn't do that, my apologies. But you and Leanne absolutely are welcome to do a complimentary InBody 270 scan as part of your new membership. And I will send you personally a link to schedule that as soon as we're done here today. But that is complimentary, and we want to do it before you work out. And so we'll try to schedule it for you like before a class one day. It takes just about 5 minutes. But what that InBody 270 scanner is, it's our biometric scanner. And what it does is it measures out, it gives you some really good information. It's a biometrical impedance. So what it does is fat is resistive tissue. So you stand up on it, you put your hands out here, and then it sends an electrical current through your body using your height, weight, age. What it will do is it'll take some calculations on the time it takes to complete that circuit. And then it prints out this really amazing form that will show you, how much lean muscle you have, how much fat you have in your body, how much water is in your body, how much your bone density ways. And then it puts you in the percentiles, muscle to fat analysis. It'll tell you how much muscle and fat you have in each different segment of your body. And then based on all of that stuff, it'll also calculate your basal metabolic rate, which is really great for trying to dial in how much. And like I said, I really like to use this with our nutrition clients, especially those who've been under eating, because I love to take that BMR and show them most people's BMR is over 1,200 calories a day. And so when we look at this box of eating 1,200 calories a day, when I show people that, hey, look, your basal metabolic rate is over 1,200 calories. And that's not taking into consideration, like I said, moving and your daily activities of life. And then on top of that, starting an exercise program and the calories that you're burning through that. So if you're sticking to this 1,200 calorie thing, that is definitely one key indicator that people are under eating. So anyway, good question, Michael. And I will, as soon as we get off this call, I'm going to send you a link to the calendar so that you can book an in-body scan for you and Leanne, okay?
Oh, you're awesome. Thank you, Rob. Hope you feel better.
No, thanks so much, man. I appreciate you. Next question, anybody else? I'll take, this makes sense. Thank you. I'm not eating. I know you're not. I know you're not. And that's, what I'm glad that you're on this. And to be honest with you, Monica, you're not alone. A lot of people are not eating enough food, and it's not your fault. It's society, it's diet culture, it's doctors going around saying eat 1,200 calories a day. There's a lot of things in society that are making us not succumb to these things, and it's so easy, and it makes sense, right? Because everybody's doing it and this is what they say, but it's really not the truth. You've got to eat more, but you've got to eat more whole foods, right? So this isn't a ticket to go ham and go, pull into McDonald's on your way home. It's a ticket to eat more whole foods. Eating whole foods, lots of vegetables, lean proteins, little starches, low on the glycemic index, timing those foods properly, portion sizes, all that stuff, stress not sleeping well or much, and eating more healthy McDonald's, yucking up food. No, I agree, right? But like all of these things are factors, right? When you look at your health and your wellness and your nutrition and really getting everything firing on all the cylinders, right? It all really just starts with the food, because as hopefully a lot of you have learned through my seminars, that the nutrition portion of the program, while it is the basis of the fitness pyramid, right? It's the basis for so many reasons, because eating right leads to better sleep, better stress management, better quality of workouts, right? All of these things are what fuels the fire to make us so consistent and makes our body just naturally start to lose the weight and get into the shape that it wants to be in, right? So it's all of those things: eating whole foods, eating them right at the right time, eating low on the glycemic index. All of that stuff leads to better energy levels, better sleep, better stress, better stress management, better quality of life, better happiness, right? And all of those things together, combined with working out on a regular basis, moving your body, having intentional movements, all of that combined makes for a better human being overall. And that's what we're trying to do. Okay, I'll give you guys about another minute or two to come up with some more questions. Otherwise, we will wrap it. Anybody else? Audio question, a text question? Feel free. Sorry. I'm feeling better than I sound, I promise. Thursday and Friday were rough. How soon after Bruger should I eat? Within an hour. Okay, so same thing as far as like before. We want you to eat, 1.5 hours before. Thank you. I think I appreciate that. And we want you to eat, within an hour of your class, right? Because your body, so just to go back to the blood sugar thing, right? So here's what happens when you work out. Remember, I wore a glucose monitor to experiment with all these things. So when you work out, your body releases glucose, right? It helps you. Thanks, Michael. Appreciate you. When your body releases glucose, and then after that glucose release, you're gonna have this giant crash, right? And so what we want you to do is we want you to eat, number one, to make sure that you're replacing the energy that you've released, but we also want to avoid that hunger cue, right? That giant release of ghrelin once you've crashed, and then you get into that, oh my God, I'm just so ravenously hungry now that I'm going to go to McDonald's, right? I know I keep saying McDonald's, but that's what I attribute it to, right? So just like with in the medical field, we say you can't chase pain, right? So we try to give pain medicines before it happens so that you don't have to chase the pain. Well, same thing with hunger. You can't chase hunger. So think about eating within an hour of your workout, whether you're hungry or not, as a way to, you're gonna be hungry. So it's almost like preemptively you're getting it in before you get to that point where you're like, we're trying to avoid that giant blood sugar crash, if that makes sense. Catherine, I forgot my old InBody scan from last year has my BMR. I'm under that most days. Time to make some changes. Absolutely. Catherine, you are somebody who I would love to see, really get that nutrition dialed, and you've made some amazing strides in the gym. And I know that, getting nutrition dialed in for you and getting like really fueling your body around those workouts and eating more, I feel like that's like the one last barrier for you, right? You've broke through the mental barrier of like lifting heavy and things like that. Now, if I can get you through the mental barrier of like eating more food and it's okay, I think that you're going to be like, there's going to be no stopping you after that for sure. Okay, guys. Well, thank you everybody so much for joining us today. I really appreciate all of you taking the time. I love doing these. We will be doing one every month, as always. Next month, we'll go ahead and put that out in the calendar for you guys so that you'll know when our next one is. But I like to try to keep it like on the third week of the month. So expect it somewhere around there. As always, you guys, I'm always available for you. If you have questions, I like to I'm around after class. If you have a single question, I'm more than happy to answer those. If you'd like to get more in depth on one-on-one coaching, I'm always happy to meet with you. It is no pressure. If you want to just sit down and talk, and I can go more through the program and what we can do. I am still also looking for, I sent out an email. I'm looking for a few athletes who have not been a part of our one-on-one coaching. If you are interested in doing the 12-week on-ramp program with us, we are offering free or reduced gym membership while you are involved in that program. We have 2 more spots available. So if anybody's interested in that, just let me know. Other than that, thank you guys so much. I will send out a copy of this recording to you guys as always. And if you need anything, just reach out. Thank you guys so much. I hope you have a great weekend. I plan on seeing you all in person tomorrow at Moody Brunch. I should be okay by then. Talk to you guys later. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.